Alrighty, page 204, Sonata in C by Domenico Scarlatti. Okay, this looks a lot harder than it is. Okay, now it says without pedal, so that's what we're gonna do, without pedal. And then we'll move on from there. You don't have to take repeats with this. Please don't, because then I gotta listen to it like twice as many times. No, if you really want to, you can, but you don't have to. Okay, so there's a really easy way to figure this out from the beginning, and it all has to do with the positioning of the piece. Now, we're gonna block chords and clusters with the right hand from the very beginning. If you look at measure 1, if you played all those notes together, it would just be a C chord. Next measure, it's a cluster, but they're stepwise. Next measure, it's a blocked B diminished chord. And then next measure, stepwise. Next measure, blocked A minor, then stepwise cluster, G major, C inverted, F inverted, and then I'll show you how to do some of the more linear passages in a second. But look at this here. Every other measure. Measure 1, 3, 5, 7, well then 8 and 9 as well. But that's pretty easy for the first 7 bars. And then we have to jump to 8 and to 9. So I would get that down first. Then go back and add the clusters. But look, even the clusters are stepwise. Measure 2, measure 4, measure 6, and then, measure 8 a chord. Okay, but get those smooth. So place it, play it. So look at the page, look at the keys, look at the page, look at the keys, place it. Then go back. Place it and play it. And get that move smooth. Don't worry about moving all the notes around. Once you get to the positions, knowing the pathways is a lot easier in making that happen. So just get there first. Okay, it will be plenty of time to play in the sand once we know which corner to play in the sand. Okay, that was a bad analogy, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, back. Try to get a few fast ones in. Fluid. Get over the keys. Touch the keys. Then to the next one. Backwards. Place it, play it. Sounds annoying? Yeah. Messes with your head? Yeah. Don't do too much of this at once. I would say maybe the first 2 lines of this for a little while and then move on to something else. You could go crazy. The people in the practice rooms next door to you will think that you're nuts and might be snickering at you out into the hall. But I promise, if they are snickering, they know me well enough now to know that this is my method and I'm the crazy one. Okay, so just trust me on this one. Okay, you're not crazy. I am, and that's just how it goes. Okay. Okay, so once you get this down, now I don't expect it to be this smooth on your end. Remember, I've been playing 30 years, but so it's going to be easier for me. But if you can get a smooth tempo in that so that you can just go. Okay, that will help a lot. Now, watch this. I'll just give you a little preview of the next lesson. So, placing, 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 place, 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 and so forth. Okay, you can do that a little bit if you just need a little sanity moment. But then I need you to go back to the blocks for a little bit after you've worked out the left hand. So left hand, it's a single note line. Let's look at that right now. It suggests that you start with finger 4, and everybody knows I hate a lot of these fingerings, but I do like this one, so use it. Okay, 4. And just get the notes down. And the fingers. And that you can go all the way to the end with. Okay, so here is a pattern that I noticed you can work with. Starting with measure 2. That's right, measure 2. Thumb on that F. Now we're at measure 4. Thumb on the E. Same pattern. Same pattern. Oh no, an octave. And then you got to do a little stepwise practice. But I like patterns because they save a lot of time. And then when you have to break the pattern, you just have to deal with it for a few notes. But it's better than having to deal with it for every note for like 30 or 40 bars, right? So, okay. So we start out, and here's our pattern. Now, here is how I would suggest you put it together first. You should do this. Block chord in the right hand and left hand as written. So 1, 2, 3. Now, why do it this way? You can start moving the left hand around while all the right hand fingers are in the places that they need to be and in time. But it's just not another act of moving or whatever. You don't have to move your fingers around in the right hand while you're still trying to figure out how to piece the left hand, but yet they're all where they need to be. Okay, here we go. So, place, play, new pattern, place, place. We'll stop there. Okay, so I would do that a few times. Get it fluid. The first few times it'll be obscenity. Okay, more obscenities. What do I do? Okay, so really go back to that place and play. You might have to place, play, place, and play. You might have to. You might not have to. Okay, but I'm just saying it's something you could do if you're stuck. And maybe only in a few spots rather than the whole thing. Who knows? It's going to be different for everyone. Try to get it to something like this and so forth. Then you can... So, place and drop. Place and drop. And you're just going to go through a chord or a stepwise, and so forth. So, and so forth. So, okay, work on that, and I'll show you the end of this phrase in a few minutes, but work on it. Okay, now that you've worked on it, I promised I was going to show you what to do with the right hand in measure 10. First off, if it helps, you can leave out that trill. But if you'd like to do the trill, remember, in Baroque music, you start with the top note. You don't start with the written note. So you don't go... Okay? Top note. And for this style, I just do it twice. I'm sure you've heard it already. Or, okay, that would be fine. I would start the D with 3. So if you're going to do the trill, start the E with 4. So if we have the 3 on D, then we have 3 notes in a row coming down here. D, C, B. That's one group. Then we have a group of 5. It starts with the pickup to measure 11. Sound familiar? C major pentascale? It's just in a different rhythmic context. Okay? So we have... Okay, practice that just like that. It'll take a while. And then I think you know well enough how to add the last 3 notes. Just follow the fingerings. They're good. Okay. So putting it together can be tough, but not impossible. Back to measure 10. I would isolate just the first beat, hands together. Then isolate the next beat. And then, as you get comfortable, it starts falling in. Then, I would isolate beat 3, 1, and 2 of the next measure. So, stepwise in the left hand. Contrary motion, almost the exact rhythm in both hands. So you have... And then maybe set it up. And see, I'm working backwards. And there you have it. And maybe you won't play it that fast right away. That's fine. Get it to a slow tempo after doing all of those quick groups. And then you can work it up from there. And then if you're stuck, I'll help you. Okay? Okay? You have to ask, because I won't know if you're stuck until we get to the test and you'll be like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. Well, how come you didn't ask? How come you, okay? I hate to sound like a dictator there, but really, just ask. I'm not gonna bite your head off for asking, and I want you to do well. Okay? Practice.